The PS5 has been out for nearly 5 years, and usually around this time you start to look at the next generation of gaming. But it's been a lot different with this generation. We all remember 2020, the year of staying home and saving lives. But also the year of which we couldn't buy a PS5. It took so long for them to be available that it felt like it took at least a couple of years for this generation to get started. And some would say that we're still waiting for it to start. So is the PS5 a success? Is it worth buying? And is it worth upgrading to the PS5 Pro? I will give you my honest thoughts and the review of the PS5 generation. And what's that? You really like my GTA Vice City canvas on my wall? Or you really like my new charging dock for my PS Portal? And what's that? You could get £100 coupon to spend on whatever you want to upgrade your setup for free? Thanks for Temu for sponsoring this video. Now, if you use my code at checkout or click the link below, you can get some amazing accessories for your gaming setup. I've been running out of storage for my games lately because I've been buying too many physical games. I'm a physical collector. And now I've got this games tower. Oh my gosh, the price of this was unreal. This PS Portal standing charger, which looks slick and it charges it after every use. I sometimes forget to charge my Portal after I use it, but now I don't have to worry about that. Or if you want to get ready for GTA 6, I've got this beautiful Vice City canvas, which was so cheap.
You don't have to spend stupid money on good stuff.
See?
Even though you're an idiot.
I've also got this 3-in-1 charging dock for my phone, headphones and iWatch, which you can have in each room. I've got a white one for the bedroom and a black one to match this setup. But not only that, I've got this Final Fantasy gaming mat that looks unbelievable. I got rid of my original black one because I just thought there was no character in this room. And of course I've got this Assassin's Creed poster painting thingamajig, which I'm gonna put up on the wall. Els has no idea how much money I'm saving.
You idiot.
So if you use my code or the link below, you will get a free £100 coupon to spend on whatever you want. And trust me, there are so many things to upgrade your setup like I have. So go buy some gaming products for free right now. Thanks for Temu for sponsoring this video. So the original PS5 came out in November 2020 and it weighed at around 4.5 kilograms with the digital version weighing at 3.9. I really like the slick design, the color. It was a bit of a shock Sony opting for the all white, but I quickly got used to it even though I was so used to all of the PlayStations being forever black. But I'm glad they went for the white with this all black middle part. This does get a little bit dusty, but I did buy a D-brand decal for the middle of the base PS5 and my PS5 Pro so it protects it from scratches and dust. So the PS5 came with 825 gigabytes of storage, which was nowhere near enough storage for a few games, as nowadays these companies, especially AAA, take the piss with how big these games are, especially if you're playing Call of Duty or Fortnite. To be fair, what you could do is just delete the games you are not playing or opt for an external SSD, which I believe we got access to this just under a year later because we couldn't actually use it at launch. At first they varied in price, but they did drop eventually and I opted for a 4TB external SSD, which for me is more than enough for an entire generation because I do delete some games off my console and my memory when I just don't want to play them again. But I would say 2TB is still more than enough. I love the way Sony made it easy to open up the PS5 for easy access to clean the fans, which will pick up dust, and I recommend that you do this around once a year. I always do it once a year because man, the dust just builds up so much and I want my PS5 to just run as good as possible for as long as possible. I love the way you could change faceplates for the PS5 to different colors, although I really wish Sony made the effort to make faceplates that were more game related. I feel like there was a missed opportunity for games like God of War Ragnarok, even Spider-Man. Even though we did get Spider-Man plates, I felt like there wasn't enough and all of a sudden they just went. But I felt like they could have really gone out with some of these games. With even The Last of Us, don't give them ideas, they're gonna milk that. They do a lot of custom dual senses, but I just wish they did more with the faceplates. They did eventually bring out loads of different colors, but I just felt like it took a very long time to get there. Even though I've picked up a few dual senses myself.
30th anniversary controller? Ghost of Your Time controller?
Damn it, Els, every time. So the PS5 supports 4K 120 Hz, and I love the interface of the PS5. The loading times are super quick, and I love that it's only got better over time. They finally added the themes back in after everyone was saying we want these back. PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4. I have forever got the PS2 theme. There's something about that sound that I just love. PS Plus could be personally better, although we do get some free games every month on the PS Plus service, and I do feel like some months we get really good games, and in some other months they're just not that good. But for me, and probably a lot of PS5 users, I like to buy my games, I don't like to rent. For PS Plus, there is quite a lot of games you can get. Even if you're subscribed to Extra, there are still quite a lot of games you can get. The DualSense controller is by far my favorite gaming controller. I think it's the best controller to date. The most impressive thing for me is the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. They are amazing. When I finally got that PS5 in my hands playing Astro's Playroom for the first time, it surprised the hell out of me. I couldn't believe it came with the console. This was essentially a demo for the PlayStation 5, so you can kind of see what the features were doing. Take note, Nintendo, charging people for a welcome tour guide. That forever will be so done. Even with Els, I couldn't get her off the damn console.
Oh, keep getting electrocuted. Oh, I did it the first time. What?
So the price of the PS5 at launch was $499 in the USA and £449 in the UK, with the digital version at $399 and £359, which I thought was a decent price for a next-gen console. But for some reason, as we go along in time, the console has just got more expensive. Because as of 2025, the price for the base PS5 is now $549 and £479.99 in the UK. And for the digital versions, $499 and £429 in the UK. No idea, but everyone seems to be doing it. Nintendo, Xbox, I don't understand why they're doing it, because no one's even buying their damn consoles, but their Xbox Series X is freaking expensive. Have to say, for a console to get more expensive 5 years later is a bit of a joke. You're probably wondering about all the games on the PS5, because at the end of the day, this is why you buy a console. Now, I just want you to know where I'm coming from. I've never owned anything Xbox. I've only owned PlayStation. I don't wish and I don't own a PC. I just game on my PlayStation 5 and I freaking love it. Now, in terms of game, there has been a ton of games to play on this console. We've got games like Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Death Stranding 2, Astrobot Return, Ghost of Yote. Hopefully that's going to be good, but the list goes on. I understand some of these games are cross-generation, but I think that's a bigger problem for the industry, where the last generation has been going on for so damn long, and even to today it is still going on, not just a PlayStation problem. Now, for someone who only owns and games on my PS5, I think this generation has been amazing. For me, I missed a lot of the PS4 generations, so games like Ghost of Tsushima, I missed that game. So I'm someone who's gone back to some of these PS4 games that are now PS5, and I feel like I'm spoiled for choice. So I can expect a lot of people are different. If you've played a lot on the PS4 generation, I can understand where you think there's not been a lot of exclusive games on the PS5. Now, understand if you have a PC, you may only use the PS5 for those single player driven games. Now, I will admit, Sony with their first party studios has not been the best, unfortunately. Their studios like Naughty Dog, Ben Studio, Blue Point Games, it's been a real shame that they were obviously told to work on live service games, and now they've realized, or Sony's realized, that this was probably not the best idea, hence why probably Jim Ryan left.
A larger proportion of the PlayStation community will be engaged with their PlayStation 4. And so, we have this huge responsibility to that community to ensure that they are really well served in terms of new games.
Yeah, in your bra.
Your Honor, I object.
You would!
And not to mention companies like Bungie with Marathon getting a really, really bad reception on that game. We had games like Concord shut down after 2 weeks. Damn! So the only thing I would say has been a down point is that we haven't had as many exclusive single player games that Sony built up their reputation for. I just wish they went a different direction, and we may have had so many better single player experiences, much more throughout this generation, from their first party studios. But But nevertheless, when you look at these third-party studios and games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Resident Evil, Claire Expedition, Indiana Jones, I know these are third-party studios and even Bethesda and Xbox. I feel like I've had such a selection of games to play on my PS5, which have been amazing. But that also brings me to another negative point about this generation and gaming overall, is the price of games. We have games costing as much as $70 and £70. And especially in this world economy where people can't even afford rent and food, gaming has become such an expensive hobby. And mix that in with really bad writers and bad games that we have got that are AAA, apart from like Death Stranding 2 and like God of War, we've had to rely on more indie studios and AA. But in terms of performance, some of these games have run absolutely amazing. They look beautiful, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I loved that game. I loved 7 Remake. Again, I never played that on the PS4. And with this generation, we've had the choice of performance mode and quality mode. And I'm someone that chooses performance mode every day, all day long. And Sony recognized this and they brought out the PS5 Pro.
I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro.
So with the PS5 Pro that has come out 4 years later, this was going to sort the issue with the PS5, or should I say enhance it. As I preferred performance mode with the PS5 Pro, what this did essentially was combine the quality and the performance mode. And I was very dubious about this when I first saw the reveal on stream, because the problem is you couldn't see this because it was through like YouTube. It's something you have to see in person. And some of you will say it's a waste of money, or is it worth it? It is all subjective. Let me get that out the way. It is very subjective when it comes to should you upgrade to the PS5 Pro. It is a lot of freaking money. I get that. £825.
£825.
When I bought my OLED 4K TV and I bought the PS5 Pro, I was amazed by some of these games. Really took the excitement out of me with the PS5 Pro when it got revealed was the fact that it was £700 and you had to buy a stand and a freaking disk drive separately. That really pissed me off. That felt like a kick in the teeth because I will always support physical media and it just didn't feel right to charge for a damn stand and a disk drive. And if you only game on your PS5 Pro, the PS5 Pro offers 2 terabytes of storage. There is an improved ray tracing and new upscaling tech known as PSSR, which uses AI. Some games, or more and more games, are offering PS5 Pro Enhanced, which you could tell with games like Stellar Blade, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But if you still got the base PS5, it is still amazing. And if you really are stuck with money and you think I want to upgrade but then I can't afford it, I wouldn't even bother. Unless you've got the money and you only game on your PS5, that's the only time I would recommend it, because I only game on my PS5. With the PS6 supposedly coming in a few years, you could even wait for that. So overall, I have been super happy with the base PS5 and now my PS5 Pro. And this PS5 generation. I feel like with the PS5 Pro, I feel like I'm prepared for GTA 6 coming next year. If it comes next year and it doesn't get delayed again, which I'm hearing. But I would be so surprised if that game does not run at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. I probably will feel robbed if GTA 6 said, yeah, basically it's not running at 60 FPS on the Pro. But even with the amount of games we have got from different publishers, even Xbox, there has been such a selection. The console runs smoothly. I've had no problems with the console and it is the ultimate gaming experience for me. And with the physical PS5, it is also a Blu-ray player, so if you're an oldie like me and you have DVDs, mate, it's nothing like just putting in a DVD and sitting back and just enjoying it. Do people know what a DVD is? But if you're too young for that, you have Netflix, you have Disney, you have Amazon. It is the ultimate home entertainment system. The only thing from me that I want from Sony and their first-party studios is I want more story-driven games. I want more exclusive games for the PlayStation 5, and I want new IPs. Now, I'm not talking about just sequels, because I feel like this generation, we've had a lot of sequels. You could say in a way that they're playing it safe. I know we've got Saros coming real soon, or coming next year, and that is a new IP. I feel like with the end of the PS5 generation and going into the PS6, I want to see completely new IPs. I don't mind some sequels, maybe a Days Gone 2, that would actually be pretty cool, but I want to see new experiences, new IPs, new characters near the end of this generation and going into the PS6 generation. I'm all for remasters and remakes. I just don't want to see flipping Ultimate Gold Edition of this game and you get free online skins with this one. I want story-driven games. Now, if I had to rate the PS5 generation, some of you will disagree with me, but I want to reiterate that I'm someone that missed the PS4 generation. So a lot of these games that I've played, like Ghost of Tsushima, have been PS5 games for me, but I haven't experienced them on my PS5. So for me, I would have to give this an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Probably for me a 9, but I could understand a lot of people will probably say 8, and probably some of you will say you're an idiot. And with the PS5, it also made me so excited to go back to the PS4 generation and experience some of these amazing games on the PS4, which some of you will say we don't want to be playing PS4 games again. I get that. What do you think about this video? What do you think about the PS5 generation? I want to hear what you think about the PS5. Do you still game in it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know. Well, let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. Top 10 gaming fails. Shout out to the member Darian. That Miles and Yasuke bit killed me. Good video. And shout out to Tush Tush. God of War Ragnarok, 1 second you're a brutal killer. The next you're Atreus riding around with some random girl having the most boring conversation ever. Gorgeous. And yeah, there's been a lot of fails for not just PlayStation, but for gaming in general, if you want to see that video. But yeah, I could understand why some people thought the pace of like God of War Ragnarok really dropped. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was a change of pace seeing it from Atreus' point of view, but I can understand, for me personally, I didn't want to play as Atreus. I didn't mind it, but for me, I just wanted to play as Kratos. So yeah, hopefully there's no more fails, apart from maybe Fair Games and Marathon. And then maybe after that, we're done and we can move on and go back to story-driven games. Goodbye.